Thank you so much to our last panel. So just a couple more minutes of your time, and then we'll adjourn and go out to the lobby for our social gathering. I don't know about you, but this has, for me, been an incredible day. Just so rewarding to see the kind of amount that we can learn from one another, bringing the patient voice and perspective really to the forefront, and also learn how we can better support you as healthcare providers. But as much as anything else, it's also just a sense of community that I think we're starting to realize. It's a very isolating disease, and to realize you're not alone, I think, is a big part of the journey and the recovery. So I'm Michael Moore. I'm a head and neck surgeon at Indiana University in Indianapolis. I've had the privilege of being on the head and neck cancer board for almost 15 years now, and I've been on the planning committee for these symposia for the past few years. It's now my honor to present a very special award. Every year we select one person who has really gone above and beyond to the raising awareness, support, and really aiding in the cause of head and neck cancer treatment and or survivorship and supportive care. And this year it was really kind of an obvious choice. Dr. Brook is here. He's here with his family, his wife Joyce Reebok, daughter Tammy, son Yanni, daughter-in-law Naomi Lewin, granddaughter Darlie Murray, and grandchildren Lev and Moses Brook. For those who don't know Dr. Brook, he's an amazing individual. He is a physician who specializes in pediatric infectious disease, and he was diagnosed with throat cancer back in 2006. And following his initial treatment, 2 years later, he ultimately required a total laryngectomy to ultimately address his cancer. In the years later to follow, he's really been a tireless advocate as a laryngectomy for those who have suffered from head and neck cancer, and also with a particular attention to laryngectomy patients. He's devoted his time and efforts to improving head and neck cancer patient awareness, preventing medical errors, and also educating both patients as well as healthcare providers on the disease and what patients go through. He has provided decades of contributions to, in many different ways, but certainly to the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance as a board member and an ambassador. He also speaks regularly to head and neck cancer patients all around the world. And to say he's made a tremendous impact on countless lives is really a true understatement. He has 2 books that have been invaluable contributions to patients and caregivers. In his second book, The Laryngectomy Guide, and the expanded edition has been published in 28 different languages and is circulated around the world. Not only this, but during the COVID pandemic, Dr. Brook was a leader in education related to the impact of the disease on neck breathers and special precautions that were needed for this group of individuals. So for his years of service and dedication to head and neck cancer patients, we're truly honored to present this year's Distinguished Service Award to Dr. Brook.
Well, you can hear me. It has been my privilege to serve on the board of the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance for over 14 years. laryngectomy guide. It has been now expanded to 6th edition, and I think my greatest satisfaction was to see the book translated into 28 languages, and that too in the process of being translated now. So hopefully we'll have 30 translations soon. I want to thank the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance for honoring me, and I hope that the work I've done will continue to help patients wherever they are. Thank you.
All righty. Well, it's just, it's been so amazing to see his tireless energy. He just, I think every step of the way constantly thinks about how he can help those who are trying to support. So thank you, Dr. Brook. Very well-deserved award. So as the meeting comes to a close, I do want to take just a couple minutes to thank some people who have really made today very special. And I always worry I'm going to miss people, so please know that if you're not mentioned specifically by name, your efforts have been incredibly appreciated. First off, thank you to the two Davids as our MCs. This has really been fantastic. I think it's really kept the pace of the day very upbeat and I think enjoyable for everybody, even amongst some very complex and challenging topics that we've covered. I think it really shed some important light on them. Thank you very much to Eileen and Amanda and the entire Head and Neck Cancer Alliance team. They put in so much time and energy and the calls at least every other week, but even many more kind of behind the scenes. Thanks to Ariel for all the help on the ground here today, and Chris for all of his AV support. It's been fantastic. Also to the other members of the planning committee, obviously Dave Cognetti has been on the team, Heather Starmer, as well as Nirav Goyal have been really instrumental in planning the sessions that you guys saw today. If I go back to 2000, well, over 5 years ago, this whole concept of bringing providers and patients together to talk about these very important issues was really spearheaded by Dr. Sherry Ann Nathan, who's in our audience today. At the time, she was the president of the American Head and Neck Society, and she's been a long-standing board member of the Alliance for years, and she partnered with Carol Fakhri, who was the chair of the survivorship service of the Head and Neck Society at the time, and came to us to see how we could do this as a collaborative project. And it was supposed to be in 2020, and then there was an event that happened during that year that made us pivot and go virtual, but then last year we had our first one of these. This one I've been so incredibly excited about, and we very much look forward to the meeting next year as well, and we hope you all will be able to attend that as well. And then I just wanted to thank our regional institutions that have been so instrumental in bringing not only their expertise and their teams here, but also the patients and the caregivers, the MD Anderson at Cooper Health, University of Pennsylvania, Temple Fox Chase, and the Thomas Jefferson. Really appreciate it. You guys have been fantastic. And certainly most importantly, all of you, all the patients and survivors and caregivers, that's really been the true foundation of this initiative. We are so grateful for you and your honesty and perspective and trust in coming to us to see how we can, as a group, make our care of patients affected by these diseases better. It's really incredibly inspiring and educational, but also humbling as we realize that we do have a long ways to go to do this better. But you've been tremendous partners in our journey to do this. So thank you so much. So I'll now turn it over to Dave and Dave again. So thank you again for being here and for such a successful day.
Wow, what a wonderful day. So one of the themes I caught from today again and again was that of gratitude. And so I was allotted 5 minutes for a closing, and I have a lot of people to thank as well. And Dr. Moore already did so, but I figure if you thank people a couple times when they really deserve it, that's okay. So thank you to the sponsors. Thank you all for being here. Huge thank you to Amanda and Eileen. You should be very proud of what this symposium has become and its success. Thank you to Ariel and Chris to allow us to not only have the logistics and keep the day smooth here for the 200-something people in the room, but the now close to 750, so almost 1,000 participants today simultaneously. That's absolutely tremendous. A resounding thank you to all of our survivor participants and all of the participants, but specifically our survivors, David, Susan, Eva, Nicole, Gail, Larry, Ginny, and Rue. You, the survivors, and the caregivers in the audience, you're the inspiration to all of us. So thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you to Dr. Schmalbach, Farwell, and Ahmad, and their teams at Fox Chase, Penn, and Cooper for their leadership and partnership. I often say it's really wonderful to work in a city where the care of the patient transcends everything, and your presence today really is a testament to that. Thank you to the entire board of directors of the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance. There are national leaders in this room from all over California, Louisiana, Alabama, Indiana, and the list goes on. And they're all here. They flew here for the weekend because they prioritize this. And so they're really role models to all of us. Dr. Michael Moore, thank you, president of that alliance and the group, and the other board members who are my friends and role models. They lead by example. Dr. Terry Day, I think over 25 years ago, he had a vision to start something, an organization that is really for advocacy and education of head and neck cancer and their patients. And so that's what this is, a culmination of that, and a major impact with this symposium now years later. We learned it a lot today. We learned that head and neck cancer is hard and it requires a team effort. So yes, we have radiation oncologist Dr. Miyamoto. Is he still here? He felt that radiation oncologists were a little underrepresented today, but we had medical oncologists in the room. But what was really cool is all the other interdisciplinary people that we had on the stage. Speech and language pathologists, physical therapists, palliative supportive care, oral pathologist, oral maxillofacial surgeon, survivorship nurse practitioner, occupational therapist, nutritionist, dietitian. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So it's just amazing. But I think what we learned the most is that with all these experts, none of us understand head and neck cancer to the same level as our patients and their caregivers. So thank you all again for sharing your experiences with us. It's important that you do. As my very close friend, David Caldarella, started this morning, he highlighted that there's great value in community. And so in having this venue and this community to share those experiences and learn from each other is just so very important. So on one of the previous slides, before I started talking too long, there was a whole list of ways to stay part of this community. So I encourage everybody in the room to do so. Remain active, remain engaged, and help us learn to help keeping or taking care of you and future patients better. So now, David Caldarella.
So I want to thank Eileen and Amanda and the entire Head and Neck Cancer Alliance for all that you did for me 15 years ago and for allowing me to be a part of today. To my dear friend to my right, I think we should go on the road together. I think we should do this. I know his wife Missy may have an issue with that, but I think we should take our show on the road. Always love spending time with them. Couple notes before we go outside. Everybody in the room and online will get an email, an evaluation form. We welcome your feedback on what was beneficial and ways in which you think we can build on what was done today. Thanks to all the sponsors, presenters who participated. Again, a special thank you to Ariel. I think she's still back there. And parking, last thing. Everyone should have gotten their parking ticket when they came in. If they didn't, stop the registration table to get that. Everybody, let's meet outside in the atrium to continue on. Thank you so much.